It's happening, gang. A red wave really is beginning to form in a way that we could never have imagined just weeks ago. And guess what? It's not just happening here. We're going to see how a massive red wave is flooding the whole world as more and more leftist governments are beginning to topple, all as Trump and patriots across the planet are surging like never before. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your patriot professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, with more and more populist patriots winning at the ballot box, there's simply never been a better time to get into gold and silver than right now as we speak. And that's why I partnered with the amazing company GoldCal, because I know the patriots there are ready to help you and guide you for such a time as this. So go ahead and click on the link below right now to get your very own gold and silver kit absolutely free. This gold and silver kit shows you how to get into precious metals tax-free and penalty-free, even if your money's still in a retirement account like an IRA or 401k. And get this, you may already qualify to get up to $10,000 in free silver. I told you they're patriots just like us, and they're here to help. You've seen the writing on the wall. Don't wait until it's too late. Defend your financial freedom by clicking on that link below right now and get your free gold and silver kit today. The city of Charleston, South Carolina, has just elected their first Republican mayor in over a century. William Cogswell defeated a two-term Democrat incumbent in a shock election that saw the defeat of a staunch Biden ally and major U.S. city mayor. It's the first time Charleston has elected a Republican mayor since the 1870s, if you can believe it, and it appears to be somewhat par for the course of what's been happening of late. And that's because this victory comes on the heels of another major U.S. city that flipped red, and that, of course, was the great city of Dallas, the fifth largest city in the nation. In an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal several weeks back, Mayor Eric Johnson announced that he is indeed leaving the Democrats and switching parties, writing, quote, "The future of America's great urban centers depends on the willingness of the nation's mayors to champion law and order and practice fiscal conservatism. Our cities desperately need the genuine commitment to these principles as opposed to the inconsistent, poll-driven commitment of many Democrats that has long been a defining characteristic of the GOP. In other words, American cities need Republicans, and Republicans need American cities." And we should also note that these two events, in effect, sandwiched the amazing series of elections in Louisiana, where the GOP had a perfect sweep of all statewide offices, most especially that of the governorship, where Republican Attorney General Jeff Landry trounced his competition in the crowded field of more than a dozen candidates. But again, in many respects, this right-wing turn that's happening here in Charleston and Dallas and Louisiana goes way beyond just the United States. Just last week, there was nothing short of a political earthquake in the nation of the Netherlands, where their so-called far-right, their ultra-right, their Make the Netherlands Great Again candidate Geert Wilders won in a stunning landslide. Wilders is often compared to Trump, both in terms of his style as well as his policies, and he campaigned promising that if given a majority in their next election, his party, the Dutch Freedom Party, would enact some of the most stringent immigration restrictions in the whole of Europe. He's virulently anti-Islam. He sees Muslim immigration as incompatible with Europe's Christian civilizational heritage and values. He's promising to end the Netherlands' asylum seeker programs, like totally, completely zero asylum seekers from this point forward. And he's a huge supporter of the Dutch farmers that rose up against the previous Dutch government's attempts to basically shut down the Dutch agricultural industry, which is number 2 in the world. And that election in the Netherlands came on the heels, of course, of the huge presidential election in Argentina, where Javier Milei, who's often referred to as the Argentinian Trump, you can see the hair resemblance, right? But more than that, he's a nationalist, populist political outsider that's taking on the Argentinian left-wing political establishment like no one else. Well, he won the presidential election in a massive landslide, defeating their sitting economic minister, Sergio Massa, by double digits. And This series of right-wing victories, this clear turn to the nationalist populist right, is catching the attention of more and more pundits who recognize that the political left is beginning to implode. It's really happening. And I especially appreciated Roger Kimball's piece for The American Greatness, where he argues that these three elections in particular, Charleston, the Netherlands, and Argentina, together signal that voters are finally done with the pernicious and vile ideology of wokeness. Wokeness is now in the process of destroying the left and empowering the right. And again, not just here, but around the world. Kimball observed that it's not coincidental that President Trump's poll numbers continue to go up. The latest Emerson poll not only has Trump beating Biden by 4, but Trump now commands his biggest lead ever over his GOP rivals by over 50 points, getting 64% to Ron DeSantis' 8% and Nikki Haley's 9%. All of his opponents have crashed into the single digits, all as Trump continues to surge. And Kimball argues that these two events are related. The series of electoral wins and Trump's surging poll numbers both reflect the public's growing revulsion against the disgusting and all-pervasive woke mind virus. Whether it's a rebellion against the wokes opening up our borders, recasting border security as xenophobic and racist, or their soft-on-crime approach, recasting law and order as yet again racist, or their failed socialist economic policies that are enacted to overcome the supposed inequalities and inequities of, yes, systemic racism. All of this pernicious resentment politics appears to be crashing down. Cities that haven't elected Republicans in over a century are doing just that. Nations that have been plagued with unfettered immigration, like the Netherlands, are electing nationalist populists to close their borders once and for all. And socialist failures with 140% inflation, like Argentina, are electing diehard free market libertarians to shock their economy back to health. All, of course, as President Trump continues to surge in the polls. Something really special appears to be happening here. A political sea change that just may indeed change the world. Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.